We're serving punk lesbian Willy Wonka today, and I think more villains should be e-girl coded because I mean, look at this, right? Like, hi, welcome to the heel turn arc of my YouTube channel, where we talk about how women and trans people can also be problematic, and how men actually have feelings and stuff, just like the rest of us. I know it's crazy. I know. Strap in for some madness, I guess. I'm new to this whole villain thing, so like we'll see how it goes. I got the cackling down, but we'll start with the latter subject today in honor of Movember and International Men's Day on the 19th of November. Fun fact, did you know that there is indeed a International Men's Day, and it is on November 19th? You should know that. You should know that. That's your first thing you're gonna learn today if you didn't know that yet. So, hey, for more riveting facts, stay tuned. Am I getting myself into a whole lot of potential trouble with these next few video subjects? Probably, but that's why we have safeguarding rules, and I will not hesitate to add more if I need to. Because I have decided that as a minority person, I get to have a nice time on the internet, actually. And anyone who says otherwise gets blocked. So, let's go over some safeguarding, shall we? Hey y'all, don't be dicks. If you bring bad vibes to my comment section, I will channel mute you and you will never comment on my channel ever again. This includes, but isn't limited to, discriminatory bull. Questions in bad faith, dumping trans problems or other triggering subjects on me or other people without their consent. Get a support group if you need one. This channel isn't that. If you have a question in good faith, a question, please check the description for our good faith system. If you don't like me or my content, hey, guess what? You don't have to watch this or any of my videos ever. You can literally just leave and never talk to me or my evil minions ever again. That's your good right. Thank you for your cooperation and safe commenting, everyone. This concludes our safety presentation. A long time ago, I set out to make videos about subjects that I don't want to have to repeat myself about anymore. And recently, I've been having to repeat myself about men's lib because no one seems to know it's a thing. Or if they do, they think it's only those misogynist manosphere bros going around calling themselves MRAs, but not actually like working on any men's issues, just kind of using them to like what about women on the internet, which very unsexy of them, honestly. Alright, Ren, so what is it then if not the manosphere bros? Wow, wouldn't you like to know? Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Traditional gender roles. We all have them. Who needs them? They're just like us. Back in the day, they were a system to structure society. A flawed one by our standards, but that was their original purpose, right? To take all the things that needed doing in life and society and split them up between men and women. Women were in charge of domestic life, like housework or childcare or sexy times, homely things. Men were in charge of public life, like work or politics, safety, whatever, hunter-gatherer bullshit, right? So at some point, women's liberation became a thing with stuff like the suffragettes and kind of women filling in for men during the wars in various jobs. And the women's movement said like, hey guys, what if like women got to like choose what they want to do with their life rather than only being allowed to do the things that their gender role says they're allowed? Have we tried that? A few decades later, in the 60s and 70s, Men's Lib was founded, inspired by feminism, and to complement it, basically with the goal to also rid men of their traditional gender role, because you kind of need to find a new balance for society. If you're liberating one side, you should probably also do the other one, It's been kind of a mess since then, eventually splitting up into a feminism cowering left and a misogynist manosphere right. Oh, if you don't know what the manosphere is, it's kind of like an umbrella term for like the incels and pickup artists and a whole bunch of other sad little men who can't get their dicks wet and have decided that it's women's fault for not being into them and their shitty little personalities. Oh, sorry, to any of the manosphere bros in the audience, y'all like pretty people saying mean things to you, right? That's like your thing. That's why you go around the internet being shitty to the ladies so that they like say mean things to you and you can get off to that. But I hope this is doing it for you, mostly so you keep listening to me. You suck and you give the movement and you hold gender a bad name, let's just say as a trans person, the right isn't exactly an option for me, even if I wanted to hang out with those pathetic losers. But as a transmasculine person, I also refuse to cower to feminism. Oh yeah, in case anyone's new here and hasn't registered yet in the whole beginning of this video yet. Hi, I'm a non-binary person. I'm not actually a girl. I know I look very pretty and you might be very confused about that, but I don't need to hear about it, okay? You can literally see my, I don't know if you can actually see that, but I've got tape from my scars from surgery from the other week. This bra does nothing. Reveal. Shout out to the Manosphere bros who didn't pick up on that and just got trapped, babe. Oh my god, I got to be a trap now. I'm so happy. That's my transition goal. Dude, make your transition goal being a trap and you're gonna be good no matter what you look like at the end. Not a girl, not a guy. Some other bullshit. Just let that fact flow over you and let it settle, and then we can move on, okay? If you have more questions, watch my other videos. That concludes the news flash. I hope everybody's up to speed now. Hi, let me repeat. As a transmasculine person, I refuse to cower to feminism. Women have oppressed me since long before I figured out I was any kind of queer, let alone trans, and are responsible for a huge portion of my trauma. Feminism continues to exclude people like me or fail miserably whenever it does try to include us. Just don't write women on everything and you can have this. Don't you want this as part of feminism? I'll make a video on that whole subject soon enough. One of my critiques about feminism is that it claims that all of gender liberation is included under it, which is just straight up not true. That's not what feminism was built for, and it continues not being what it's actually doing. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. So we need movements like Androgyne and Men's Lib to actually liberate all the genders, which includes liberating women. Because guess what? It's all the same coin, just different sides of it. You can't just pick one. You can't have one without the others. I think transmasculine people, and potentially androgynous cis men and AMAB non-binaries, we're being inclusive here, but I'm thinking mostly about transmasculine people right now, are in a really interesting position to help steer Men's Lib into a better direction that needs to be neither problematic nor misogynist, but also doesn't submit itself to feminism in an unhealthy way. We're allies to feminism, not their lapdogs. Right, so what is this whole Men's Lib thing about? First fun, or not so fun fact about Men's Lib, is that men's main oppressor tends to be other men, not women. Women and other non-men can also be their oppressors, but that tends to be secondary to the in-group oppression. This is a way in which Men's Lib is different from a lot of other liberation movements, where generally the oppressor tends to be the out-group. This means that most of the work is up to men to figure out themselves. If you're a man, think about how you treat yourself and other men in your life and where that could use some improvement. Think about saying something if you see another man being shitty to other people, both men and non-men. You, as a fellow man, might have the power to get through to him in a way that other people might not. If you're not a man, you can still help. As mentioned, men are their own worst enemy, but the rest of us can be shitty to them too. We'll go over what that might look like and how to fix it in a bit, so stay tuned. Okay, so what are the actual issues of Men's Lib? Mental health is probably one of the most popular ones. Saying, hey, maybe men should be allowed emotions, actually tends to be a generally uncontroversial take, let alone statistical evidence like men's high suicide rate. Often mental health is grouped together with general men's health, like testicular and prostate cancer awareness, for example. That's what Movember is about, by the way, in case you didn't know that. Raising awareness for men's health issues, basically. Men are less likely to seek support with health concerns, including their mental health, because they are taught that to show weakness of any kind is to somehow be less of a man. Which, take it from a trans person, nobody can take your gender away no matter what you do. That's not something you need to be afraid of. Please go to the doctor, please get therapy. It'll be good for you. I promise your dick won't fall off. Unless maybe you're trans. In which case, it's probably just your packer falling out and you can just kind of stick it back in there and you'll be good, you know? Oh, talking of which, if you're a transmasculine person, you're over 25 and you haven't had a hysterectomy, get a cervical screening. Do it. I don't want y'all dying of freaking undetected cervical cancer just because you were too uncomfy or afraid of getting misgendered. There's even like LGBT plus sexual health clinics that offer trans-friendly versions of it. Okay, just get one. Trans femmes, you also get your bits checked out. I don't want y'all getting cancer either, alright? So who's taking notes of my new version of Men's Lib? Write down trans mask cervical screenings and trans femme testicular and prostate exams. Add that to the Movember list. Mo bros, you gotta get on it. Be allies to your trans siblings. This is a way you can do it. Raise awareness for trans people needing to get stuff checked out too. Another reason why men's mental health is so bad is because men generally get less empathy than women and therefore less support with stuff like that in general. This is called the empathy gap, and the idea of having more empathy for women and girls than for men and boys is ingrained in us from a very young age. We as a society have just decided that we don't care about men's feelings or well-being. That's also why male survivors of sexual violence and domestic abuse are taken less seriously than their female counterparts. The empathy gap also leads to something we call male expendability. It's the idea that society treats men as expendable, as sacrifices to die in wars and to get hurt and maimed doing dangerous work and to get left behind while women and children are saved first. Okay, but that's just because society thinks that women, and queer people too, because those haven't been and still aren't in some places allowed in the military either, are weak and therefore can't do that work. So it's just misogyny against women and feminine people again. If society hated women and the queers so much, then why are we working in like art and healthcare and education? Maybe some tech and science these days too. Why all the desk jobs and social work? If it truly wanted to get rid of us, why not put us actively in danger? Why keep us safe? The people doing dangerous work like construction are still almost 100% male. Okay, but construction workers aren't oppressed because of their gender. It's because they tend to be lower class or ethnic minorities that they are oppressed. They tend to be that, yes, but if it was only that, then there would be lower class women and women of color there too, and there aren't. I am studying to be an electrician at the moment, and from what I can tell, I am the only person on the entire course who isn't a straight passing man. And the thing is, I'm not even there to actually work in construction. I'm there to become a lighting tech for film, like the dirty little white middle class art person that I am. I don't even count as proper non-male construction worker representation, you know? The fact that it tends to be the kind of men that are already devalued by society in other ways that end up in those jobs makes it an intersectional men's issue, but it doesn't make it not a men's issue. We need more women and queers in male-dominated fields, and I'm not just talking the like safe indoor shit like STEM or the cool sounding ones like the military. I'm talking female construction workers and like bin collectors and stuff, okay? I don't know how you become a bin collector, but I'm sure it's not hard to figure out if you put your mind to it. So we need y'all. Society needs y'all. Those men need y'all. You can help make it both more gender diverse for hashtag feminism and hashtag pride rights, and at the same time less about only one gender being the one that's always being put in danger. Put women and queers in danger. Quote by me, 2021. Maybe don't quote me on that. No, actually, you know what? Fuck it. Quote me on that. Worst case, it'll just keep the shitty people that don't watch things before they criticize it away from my channel, and it'll bring all the problematic ones here to hear the gospel on how to be less problematic. So, win-win, right? Heel turn villain arc. We're doing this. And as if that wasn't already enough for our poor men to have on their plates, alas, society not only shames and doesn't support men's emotions, it also polices any form of expression that doesn't conform to some impossible standard of hypermasculinity. So the other week, we got some folders in class, and the teacher gave us some dividers to put into them. These ones. Now, I realized the pink side needs to be the front side because there was like writing on it that needed to be the front side to be the right way up. So I put that one front. Right. I kid you not a single man in that room put the pink side front. Most of them flipped it around to be yellow front. The one next to me like put the pink bit a bit back so that he could have a blue front side, just because he just likes blue. And hey, hey, maybe that guy does just like blue. And maybe the other ones weren't thinking that hard about it and didn't realize the pink one was supposed to be front side. Or they just have a preference for the color yellow. But if they truly didn't care, you wouldn't think in a room full of 15 grown-ass men, not a single one would pick the intended front side, lest they have a strong bias against Pink. Don't do Pink dirty like that. She's a perfectly fine singer. So what slapped when I was a kid? These guys are statistically highly unlikely to turn out trans, or even significantly gender non-conforming. Again, take it from me. And even if one or two of them do, the rest still won't. They're also perfectly in line with what society expects of them as straight men. They dress about as straight looking as they come. Most of them have wives or girlfriends, some even have kids. Most of them are employed and only really doing this to get the diploma and not to like learn anything to begin with like I am. They're where they're supposed to be in their straight cis lives. They have no reason to fear for their gender or social status. So why are these men so insecure about their masculinity that they're afraid of the color pink? This kind of behavior tends to be driven by two forces: the fear of disapproval by peers, so their fellow men, and fear of being less attractive to love interests, so potential or current female partners. As someone who's not given a shit about what people think about me since long before I figured out I was queer, they will admire, envy, and fear you if you express yourself unapologetically. Now, that might provoke ill will in your direction, but probably not that much. And if your goal is to be the alpha Chad among your peers, hey buddy, Pink's the way to go. Now, as for love interests, if Pink's so bad for women being into you, then explain K-pop to me. Explain it to me. Does this man look like he's afraid of the color pink? Do you know how many women want to fuck this guy? And you only need one. You only need one, dude. Straight men have standards. Women can be shitheads too, and if they're not down for whatever your authentic self ends up being, then that's their problem. There are women who will value and love you for whoever you are. Don't settle for less than that. The only thing you might need to do is learn to love yourself a little bit more. Straight women, hey, maybe question the unhealthy standards you put on the men you date, because it really gets to them. I've had straight identified men tell me the reason they are not exploring feminine things they are actively wanting to is for fear of being rejected by straight women. And the thing is, I can't tell guys like that that won't happen. But I can tell you, the straight women who might be inclined to reject them on the basis of stuff like that, hey, is your preference for exclusively hypermasculine guys something that you are actually into? Or just something that society told you to be into because it's the thing to do? Have you actually taken the time to figure out for yourself what you like and might be able to like about a partner? You know you are allowed to figure your stuff out even if you're straight, right? Talking of being straight, I'm a fucking segue genius, God. The final men's issue I'd like to talk to you about today is parental and marital rights. And as with a lot of things in life and on the internet, there is some bad takes there. Like, some father rights people will argue that abortion should require the father's consent, which no, fuck you. I have a uterus. You don't get to tell me shit about what to do with it. How about you get a uterus transplant and do it yourself if you want a baby so badly? Or how about you get a vasectomy and don't get yourself in this situation to begin with? Or maybe, just maybe, we should provide better mental health support for men dealing with the loss of a child, whether unborn or otherwise, instead of trying to limit other people's bodily authority. How about that? But there are also more straightforward issues like inequality in things like divorce settlements or who gets custody. My mom got custody of me when I was a baby, which is not a bad thing. It's more of a systematic issue. Like, I don't think among any of my friends whose parents got divorced when they were kids have I ever heard of a dad getting custody of the children. Like, any at all. It should be 50-50 if it was equal chances. That's just math. A lot of men's issues exist in this way where improving them will also improve things for the women around them. If we normalize men putting more time into housework and childcare, it would take pressure off of the women who are expected to be housewife and mother while also working a full-time job because of #feminism. If we put more women and queers in construction work, for example, it will increase gender diversity and make it a less hostile environment for them. while also taking the pressure off men of doing dangerous work all by themselves, and providing more templates for acceptable expression within that field beyond straight hypermasculinity, which might help some of them get more comfortable and explore things they might not have felt able to before. So for this year's Men's Day, which is on Friday, the 19th of November, I would like to ask of you, dear viewer, if you're a man, to take care of yourself a little bit and maybe try something that you wanted to for a while but just felt you weren't allowed to for stupid masculinity reasons. Maybe watch a K-pop video. Stray Kids are pretty good. If you're not a man, take the time to think about the men in your life, the ones you care about or who have been a force of good in your life. Think about the ways you think about masculinity and what it can be. If you're into men, maybe think about what you find attractive about them, and not just what society said you should. Actually look inside yourself and find your horny truth. I also linked some good men's lib resources in the description if you already finished your thinking or whatever and got bored again, or you just want to learn more about it. If you'd like to join my evil army, all you need to do is subscribe and swear your undying loyalty to me and to cause under a blood oath. I also make a comic called Something About Lemons. You can read it for free over on Tumblr, where you can throw me like a digital pound coin over on Gumroad to get it with some nice cover arts. I wish you all a lovely Men's Day and Trans Awareness Week. Thanks for tuning in, and look forward to the next part of this series of semi-coherent videos that I've got planned for the next while. So see you next time. Cheers. Bye bye. What do I even do usually? I haven't recorded properly in so long. But I look hot today, so I can't not record now. Guess who's had top surgery, babes? Oh my god. Look at my nails. They're so glittery this week, and I'm very excited about that. We're not here to look at me being hot, we're also here for that, but by the time I get to the main portion of this video, I will have tired myself out, and I will just sit there and read my script, and it'll be fine. Remember that Men's Day is on November 19th, and whenever there's people on Women's Day being like, haha, when is Men's Day? That's the answer. It's not November 19th. Just kind of using them to what about women on the internet, which very sexy of them, that was like. No, no. Traditional gender roles. We all have them. Who needs them? Fuck. What was the third one again? I forget. They're just like us. Filling in for men during the world wars around. Nope. Words. Brain. Words. This is a stupid sentence I've written. And I don't know how to make it less stupid. Eventually splitting up into a feminism cowering. Words I've written that I can't pronounce. Yay me. Sorry. The shade being thrown today, I swear to God, I am a genius. Okay. Noises. I said tits off means gets too hard on the internet and we are enjoying ourselves. Yes, okay. Oh yes, yeah, in case you hadn't noticed yet, hi, I'm not a girl. I trap situation happening here, but like the trans masc kind, not the shitty trans femme one that doesn't make any sense. Also, I have a video planned on that, like, but hey, come on ladies, come on. Men's Health. That's a magazine. Hey, Men's Health magazine. I don't know what the fuck you do, but if you want to sponsor me, let me know. This is the bit of the script where I actually have to recite facts and not just do my bits, and that's a problem. Hi. Literally anything you felt like you weren't allowed to. Just for masculine, not for like laws. What, like, this is not the purge. Surprisingly, Men's Day is not the purge. Sorry, I'm just like so dolled up today and I'm cracking up at it. Because I just know I'm gonna get so many angry manosphere bros who are literally just putting up with this because I'm pretty. And then they find out I'm not a girl and they're gonna be so mad. they're confused little boners. It's gonna be so funny. Ah!